All right, folks, now we welcome back to the show Louisiana Senator, Mr. John Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, welcome. I don't know if you heard any of the colloquy between General Keane and myself. I just wanted to give you a whack at this Iran, negotiations and what to do about the enriched uranium and whether we're talking to the regular army or not. What do you think, Senator Kennedy?
Well, here's what I think for what it's worth, Larry. I don't have the information, obviously, that the president has. Here's why we went into Iran. We had no choice. The president didn't start a war. He was trying to stop a war. Iran basically said, we're producing 200 to 600 missiles a month, and we're going to stockpile so many missiles that when we restart our nuclear program, if you try to do anything about it, we will destroy the entire Middle East, and we will hit London and Paris and Berlin. So the president went in. His objectives were to destroy Iran's missile manufacturing plants, destroy their drone manufacturing plants, destroy as many of their missiles as we can, destroy as many of their drones as we can, destroy the infrastructure of the Revolutionary Guard, destroy their Navy, and destroy their Air Force. And we either have done all of that or have substantially done all of that. And then I think we should leave. Now, some of the critics of my position say, well, you may have to go back. They're not going to be able to rebuild this stuff in any short time period. We may have to go back, and when we do have to go back, if they restart their nuclear program, I hope the world will go with us. And in terms of the Strait of Hormuz, I mean, Iran shut it. We didn't shut it. It's as if we're to blame. We're not to blame. This is a decision Iran made. And I don't know that there's a whole lot we can do about it short of sending in troops. And if the president sends in troops, I think we need to sit down and talk about it. And Congress is going to want to talk about it.
Yeah. At this point, Senator Kennedy makes his position completely clear. In his view, the strike on Iran was not the start of a new war, but an attempt to stop a growing threat before it became even more dangerous. His main argument is that the United States acted to weaken Iran's missile, drone, and military capabilities so a much larger regional crisis could be avoided later. From here, the entire discussion is framed through the lens of national security.
Yeah, well, I think we have military means. But I want to go to other subjects, Senator Kennedy. I want to have some fun and play some tape between John Barrasso and myself all the way back to last November 19th. I think you're going to like this, but hang on.
Okay.
Here comes the tape. I'm very worried that the Democrats will try to shut the government down at the end of January. Let's use reconciliation. You could have one reconciliation bill, two reconciliation bills. Let's move the CR out and move reconciliation in. What do you think? I'm told John Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, a very smart man and a friend, I'm told he's been pushing this. I didn't know that, but I'm delighted to hear it. Well, I'm still delighted to hear that Senator Kennedy, a very smart man, is pushing reconciliation. I'm making the same case, Senator, whether it's the Pentagon money, whether it's the DHS money, whether it's the voting rights money that'll be necessary, all of that. I think reconciliation is the only way anything will get passed. 50 votes plus the vice president.
Well, of course, reconciliation is a budget measure where we don't have to have any Democratic votes. We've got two more bullets, two more reconciliations. What I think we need to do now on the problem in front of us is, and my colleagues, well, we'll talk about this in a second. What we need to do is get the Department of Health and Hospitals back, Department of Homeland Security back open. The Democrats will never vote.
Now the discussion shifts from foreign policy to domestic power politics. Here, both Kennedy and the host are signaling that they no longer see the normal bipartisan process in the Senate as a practical way forward. That is why reconciliation is being presented not just as a procedural option, but as a political necessity. The message is straightforward. If support from across the aisle is not coming, then use the constitutional tools already available.
Vote to support ICE. They never will do it. The Karen wing of their party will punish them the rest of their natural lives if they do. So we're going to have to do it through reconciliation, where we can do it with Democratic votes. I would also like to try to do the SAVE Act through reconciliation. Look, I'm an optimist. I'm a paranoid optimist, but I'm also a realist. And this is going to be a heavy lift. I'm not convinced the president is aboard. I was told that he was, but I haven't talked to him. But I heard him on TV this morning. It didn't sound to me like he's on board. I'm not entirely convinced that our majority leader is on board.
Well, you and I have our work cut out for us, sir. We do. We have our work cut out for us.
And some of my colleagues who are for the SAVE Act, like I am, they want to continue the talking filibuster, which I understand. And the Democrats obviously aren't going to cooperate. But I say we give it our best shot, but I don't think we ought to kid ourselves. I'm not Bambi's baby brother. I see the world as it is, not as I want it to be.
But I'm going to try to help you on this. I really, and as any way I can. Now, I want to also, this business about ICE, by the way, it's not only TSA that's being shut down, it's worth noting. It's the cyber security stuff that's being shut down also in wartime, which is extremely dangerous. However.
And Coast Guard and yes, FEMA.
Sir. Yes, sir. Now, we're going to play here. We're going to play, here's what Hakeem Jeffries thinks of our ICE agents helping out in the airports and so forth. Please listen to this if you would, Senator Kennedy. Here it comes.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
So Ms. Jeffries thinks the ICE agents are going to kill them. Now, here's, we have more sound.
In this section, the tone becomes much more confrontational. The conversation moves away from policy details and turns into a broader political clash between Republicans and Democrats. By bringing up ICE, Homeland Security, and airport staffing, the segment tries to create the impression that the opposition is not simply disagreeing on policy, but is also working against enforcement institutions for political reasons. This is no longer just a policy debate. It is a fight over public perception.
No more sound. Here's ICE agents operating in airports help. All right, so we have some video of ICE agents. Here it comes. I hope you can see it. Helping people by handing out water to people who are, parched by standing on line 4 or 5 hours. So Hakeem Jeffries thinks the ICE agents are going to kill people, and the ICE agents themselves are showing Americans just what they can do and expediting. I think they got the Atlanta airport open lickety-split when they came in. I mean, I just don't understand the Democratic Party. I just think they're just fruits and nuts. That's all I can figure.
Well, here's what I think most Americans see. The loon wing, the Karen wing of the Democratic Party is in control. It's not all Democrats, but it's most of them. And they want to defund ICE. They also wanted to defund the police. We know how that vampire movie turned out. Because of that, the Democrats shut down the Department of Homeland Security. The Democrats will never vote for anything that will help ICE. Anything. They say they want us to compromise. If we went to them today and said, we agree with everything you say, they would change the deal because they don't want to be punished politically by the loon wing of their party. That is reality. I'm not happy that that's reality, but again, I see the world as it is, not as I want it to be. We're going to have to go around them, and the only way I know to do that is through reconciliation.
The final section brings the overall message into focus. Kennedy's takeaway is that even if some of his own colleagues disagree, he still wants to push these priorities through reconciliation wherever possible. That makes this more than just an interview. It becomes a statement of political strategy. Whether the issue is foreign policy or border enforcement, his argument remains the same. Instead of waiting for the opposition to cooperate, use every available mechanism to move the agenda forward.
Reconciliation.
Yes. Heck, We've both been saying it for months and months, but I'm glad we finally got together for this chat.
And I would also like to take a shot at the SAVE Act for reconciliation. Now, some of my colleagues say it can't be done.
No.
They may be right, but I'd like to at least try.
Of course. Of course. You just have to work harder and reimagine things. That's how they get done. Senator Kennedy, you're terrific. Thank you, sir. I hope we'll talk soon. Yes, sir.